Welcome to Bleed Purple, a 10-part podcast about the 125-year history of Tarleton State University. Host Drew Myers will cover Tarleton's rich traditions, speak with notable alumni, and uncover the stories that give Tarleton its lasting legacy. Here's your host, Drew Myers.
Howdy, I'm Drew Myers, and this is the Bleed Purple podcast, the podcast that's telling the story of Tarleton State University through the stories of the people who bleed purple. It's my honor and privilege to sit down with an Olympic champion, silver medalist Connor Prince, won a silver medal in skeet shooting at the Paris Olympics. Hi, Connor. How are you?
How's it going?
Okay. I've recorded a lot of podcast episodes. A lot. I'm in the thousands, dude. Thousands. I have never had the opportunity to sit down with someone who won a medal at the Olympics.
Well, here you go.
And the funny thing about that, he walks in, sits down, and he goes, I forgot to bring my medal.
I did. I truly did. I don't know why I didn't even think of it.
Where do you keep a silver medal?
So a lot of people are like, oh, I bet you display that everywhere, and it's probably on a plaque in your room. I'm like, nope, it's in the safe. I just have a fear of like a house fire or something like that. You just never know.
Let's go back to Paris. And I want to hear your story, man. I want to hear all of it, how you got into it and how you honed your craft enough to be a silver medalist. But I want to go back to Paris and when you won and all the hard work and everything that you put into it. What were your emotions? What were you feeling at that moment?
After my last couple shots, it was a lot of relief. I described it as indescribable because like I said, you got the relief of it, the excitement of everything, the build up, the ending of it. So it's kind of an indescribable feeling, but nonetheless, it was amazing, an amazing experience.
Let's go back. How did you get into skeet shooting?
So when I was an incoming freshman into high school, my high school had this thing called Meet the Spartans where it's just welcoming all the incoming freshmen. And then afterwards, they had a whole bunch of booths set up in the cafeteria, showcasing a bunch of the clubs they had, and one of them was the Spartan Clay Target team. And we saw some of our friends talking over to the people that were running it at the time, and my dad and I got to talking, and we were like, okay, this might be a fun little thing, because my dad and I had gone clay shooting every now and then, and but nothing was ever really serious. It was just Dad and I having fun. And then we saw this booth, and just thought it'd be fun, and started shooting my freshman year and just kept progressing.
Did you hunt?
So, I mean, occasionally just dove hunting, but nothing ever really serious. Didn't deer hunt, didn't duck hunt, nothing like that. Didn't do any other sports, no football, no soccer, no baseball, had no interest in them. So I think this was just kind of my dad's way of saying, okay, let's get you out to do something.
Okay, so you see this booth for this club, and you go out there the first time. Was it obvious immediately that you could do this at a very high level? Or did you suck the first time you went out there?
No, I think everyone sucks the first time they go out there. No, it was just more of a fun aspect my first year, my freshman year. So, and then my sophomore year is whenever I started taking it more seriously and started practicing more. And but no, my freshman year, I never thought it would become what it is today, ever.
So when was that moment when you realized, hey, I'm pretty good at this?
Probably my sophomore year. Like I said, started practicing more and started becoming more consistent. And then end of my sophomore year, I won state for YTF Youth Target Foundation. There's a whole bunch of different organizations that you can win in, but that's the one that I won in. And so I think that was the turning point into what it is today.
So the summer after your sophomore year, you win this state competition. At any point during that time, are you thinking the Olympics yet?
No. I didn't even know shooting was an Olympic sport my sophomore year, to be quite honest with you. Actually, I take that back. I did whenever my current coach now, Vincent Hancock, came to speak to us at that event. So I didn't know it was an Olympic sport until the year that I won state. And then, funny enough, whenever I went to my junior year of high school, a former USA shooting athlete named Dustin Perry reached out to the team looking to get back into the sport and start to coach people, because he was new to Burleson at the time and just trying to get connected with people with what he knew, and that was skeet shooting. And then he's the one that started coaching me, and he was like, oh, this kid's pretty good, I guess. So he's the one that recommended I started shooting Olympic skeet.
Okay, so going into your junior year, you just kept getting better. Did you win state again? Senior year, win state again?
So whenever I started pursuing the Olympic side of things, I started to pursue that more than the other stuff. So no, I did not go back and win state just because I was focusing on this new Olympic path.
Yeah, you wanted bigger, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You wanted the world stage.
Exactly.
I like that. Talk about that transition, about going from, from the state level to where you ended up.
It's a learning curve. For those that don't know, going from just regular American skeet to Olympic skeet, it's a big transition because there's a whole lot of mechanical aspects that you got to learn.
Hold on. What do you mean by that, mechanical aspects?
So American skeet, you can start with the gun on your shoulder. On Olympic skeet, you have to start with the gun down, I guess, near your belly button, and you have that random 0 to 3 second delay. So after you call for the target, you're waiting for that thing to come out, and it's just, like I said, just a big learning curve. So takes a long time to get that mount from your belly button up to your shoulder. I still work on it to this day.
Okay, so at what point were the Olympics becoming a reality? And as you're answering that question, Connor, talk about where your dad was throughout all of this, because he's the one to be like, hey, come on, we're going to go over to this table and we're going to get you into something, and it's going to be skeet shooting. So just talk about that a little bit. Yeah,
so Dad's always been by my side 100% the whole way. He never coached me. He wasn't that good, but he's the one that got me started. And then Olympics started to become a reality, I'd say my junior year of high school is whenever we met Dustin Perry. Like I said, he's the one that recommended I started shooting this. And once you start shooting this, that's your ultimate goal is go to the Olympics and win a medal. So once I started it, that was my ultimate goal, but it just takes time to get there, obviously, for any Olympic sport.
Sure. How many hours a week were you putting into it?
Whenever I first started, I was shooting every day upwards of 250 to 300 shots a day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was a lot. I've kind of dialed that back now just because I've gotten better at it, obviously. So I'm more of a quality over quantity. So I'm focusing on just small, minute things to clean up my technique from what it was in the beginning, like I said, where it was quantity over quality. Just trying to get shots downrange.
Do you love it?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's kind of a weird question to ask, and especially since you won a silver medal in this sport, but I've heard stories about people that do something at a very high level, but it's not their favorite thing to do, but you actually love shooting.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone who does this at a high level to an Olympic level, they get burnt out every now and then. I mean, I get burnt out, I'm not going to lie, where I just don't want to go shoot, but ultimately I got to ask myself, like, okay, do I want to keep doing this? And I keep telling myself, yeah, I want to go back and get that feeling of winning another Olympic medal. So yeah, I'd say I love it for sure.
Is that the goal?
Yeah, that's the pinnacle of our sport right there, is the Olympic Games.
So you want to go again?
Yep.
I don't even know where the next Olympics are. Where are they?
LA.
Okay. I did know that. I did know that, LA. And then, I mean, do you want to go again after that? And again after that? I mean, is this a career?
I honestly could, but I think I'm going to retire after 2028 just because life's taking over outside of shooting. So I've got to do that at some point. And yeah, I think shooting will take the back burner after 2028.
Okay, so let's rewind. Grew up in Burleson, went to Centennial High School in Burleson, and shooting starts to take off. Your junior year, you mentioned that, but you want to go to college, right? And you're on the official podcast of Tarleton State University. Spoiler alert, you chose Tarleton. But you were looking for something a little bit different in a school, a specific degree plan, like you mentioned to me, but it had to be flexible because you were shooting, would you say, 300 to 400 shots a day?
But yeah, I needed a school that was flexible with my shooting schedule, work schedule, and yeah, saw Tarleton had an online program, 100%, and tried it out and ended up working. So
it's funny. Connor and I were visiting before we hit record on this. He's been in Stephenville, Texas, a grand total of twice. Got his degree all online. Now, the reasons why you've been to Stephenville and you've been to Tarleton are pretty cool. Tell the people the two reasons why you've been on campus.
So one time I went to a football game where I did the coin toss for Tarleton, and the second time I was getting honored at and getting recognized for winning the silver medal. So
super cool. And you're probably doing the coin toss because you won the silver medal.
Mhm.
Talk about the online experience going to school and how that worked into your schedule.
Being online, it was super easy actually. So there wasn't. It depended on the classes you chose, obviously, but I chose the classes where I could just do it at my own pace. So after I got off work, after I was done shooting, be around 6, 7 p.m., I'd go home and do my homework. So it was just super easy, super flexible.
Tell people what you got your degree in and why you chose that particular career path.
So I got my degree, manufacturing industrial management. So reason I wanted to do that was when I was still in high school, I started working in my dad's manufacturing machine shop. I'd wake up at 6 a.m., go in, work for a couple hours before I went to school. And through my senior year of high school, I just started enjoying it more and more and more. Then going through my first couple years of college, I just started learning more and determined the career path that I wanted to take at the time, which was cybersecurity, wasn't what I wanted to do.
Tell people why it wasn't.
So I consider myself pretty good with computers, and I was to an extent, but found out very quickly that I was not.
He told me that earlier, and it made me laugh. So you decided to go and study this, and you graduated in December, right? Congratulations
Appreciate
on that. Did you walk the stage?
I did not.
It's so funny that Connor is on the Bleed Purple podcast. You don't necessarily bleed purple, but you do have a degree from Tarleton State University. Tarleton State is very proud to claim you as one of their own. You bleed purple in their eyes for sure. Talk about what's next for you. You talked about, competing in 2028, and then you talked about life happening. What happens to Connor Prince after he stops shooting?
I don't know. I hadn't really thought that far down the road, to be quite honest with you. So still working at my dad's manufacturing machine shop. So hoping to eventually take that over at some point and take a few things off his hands. That way he can maybe retire and put more things on my plate. So hoping to continue to grow that. We actually just got a new machine delivered today. So it's still continuing to grow. But hopefully in the next 10 years, I'm running that full time.
Even after you retire, will you be involved with the sport? And what would that look like?
Yeah, I think anybody that's been in the shooting sports never fully walks away from it. They're still involved in some way, whether it's giving a kid a lesson every now and then or just going out to charity shoots and shooting. I don't think you ever, like I said, just walk away from it. So I think it just sticks with you forever.
What do you love most about shooting?
I think it's the camaraderie between everyone. This is where I've met some of my best friends. My buddy Eli, he's gonna be like, "Oh, you mentioned me in the podcast."
Shout out, Eli.
Yeah, we talk pretty much every day, and I met him through shooting.
Where does he live?
He lives in College Station.
Okay.
Or he lives in New Braunfels area.
Okay.
But he's from College Station. He went to A&M.
So I'm assuming it's a small fraternity of guys and gals that do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy to bond. It's easy to connect. That's super cool. I love that. The club at Centennial that you initially joined, is that something that you're still involved with?
Yeah, we're still friends with quite a few people that are on the team there. So, I mean, they ask us to store some of their ammo at our shop every now and then, which we don't have any problems with. So we're definitely willing to help out any way we can. So, and I think we donate to them every year. So,
is it a strong program?
Yeah, it's gotten way bigger than since I was there. I think whenever I was there, we had a total of 15 members. Now I think they're pushing 40. I think shooting is one of the fastest growing sports in America right now.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's becoming very popular.
This is kind of a macro question for you, Connor. Did you learn anything through shooting that has helped you with life?
Yes, believe it or not. through shooting, I've learned to actually talk to people. That sounds crazy, but when you go out to shoots, you talk to people, you talk to scorers, you try to go get sponsors for your team and stuff like that. So you got to sell yourself. So I've learned to talk to people.
Was that outside your comfort zone before?
Oh yeah, I'm a huge introvert. Still am. This is a lot right now. I'm not gonna lie. Just even having a conversation, just because it's hard for me sometimes to put things into words. But shooting has definitely been able to help me do that. So I've learned that. I've learned a lot of mental things, how to keep myself going whenever I'm feeling stressed out shooting. Because this sport is, I'd say it's a 90% mental game and a 10% physical. Can you keep it together while you're on the range?
Okay, well, we're going to go down this rabbit hole for just a second. I mentioned to you that I do mental coaching for athletes and things like that. How do you control your mind? How do you do it? Sorry, folks. We're going into left field for just a second.
There's a lot of techniques that I use that I have a mental coach that he gives me. But basically, it's just giving yourself positive thoughts, what to do versus what not to do. Mm-hmm. So when I'm in between stations, I'm thinking about my next shots and how I'm going to break them. Not, oh, you better not miss this target. I'm visualizing that target in my head. Sometimes you'll see me out there waving my thumb around. That's because I'm visualizing a target in relation to the barrel of my gun. So, yeah, just a lot of positive affirmations there.
I love it.
Yeah.
Talk about the response that you have gotten since you've been back from Paris, winning the silver medal. You know, Tarleton has shown you all the love, the coin toss and the recognition ceremony. Now you're on the podcast for the school. What about, back in Burleson? Just talk about all the hoopla that surely has surrounded you since winning the silver.
Yeah, the support has been overwhelming, believe it or not. Burleson has just wrapped their arms around me and just welcomed me home, and just everyone's let me know how proud they are of me. I've had people come up to me and be like, "Hey, I watched you on TV." I'm like, "That's cool. I don't even know you." So yeah, I just have random people just come up and be like, "Oh, we watched you and we're so proud of you." And
well, how does that make you feel, dude?
It feels good, believe it or not. Even being an introvert, I don't like the attention, but it makes me feel good.
Let's go back again. I want to go back. What was 7th grade, 8th grade, even into your freshman year, Connor Prince? Describe him to me. What was he like?
7th, 8th grade Connor was boring. I mean, I still am boring to this day. I didn't really go out and do things with friends. I was into video games at the time, just playing online with some friends. 7th, 8th grade year. Then when I got to my freshman year, I started branching out a little bit into the shooting sports. But 7th, 8th grade, didn't play any sports in middle school. Had no interest in them. So,
and did shooting help kind of bring you out of your shell?
For sure, yeah. I mean, you asked if it made me uncomfortable talking to people. Yeah, I mean, shooting puts you in uncomfortable positions. So going back to the Olympic Games, I was uncomfortable that whole time. That was the most adrenaline I've ever had in my life. And it just through my years of shooting, I've learned how to control it and compose myself. And so whenever I go back into the real world, it's helped me there as well. So it kind of translates back and forth.
So I've got my dad hat on now. Are you grateful that your dad kind of drug you over to that table and said, "Hey, let's talk to these people and just see what's up"?
Man, I would not be where I am today without my dad. He is my number one supporter, best friend, mentor, coach at the machine shop. I mean, I'm very grateful for him and him bringing me into this sport. I don't think I'd be where I am today without him and this sport. So
this is one of my last questions, Connor, and thanks for doing this. I really appreciate it, especially since now I know you're terrified.
No worries at all.
To have a conversation.
We're making it through.
Yeah, we are making it through. Is your dad proud of you?
Oh, he's very much proud of me. I've only seen my dad tear up twice in my life, and it's very possible he's teared up 3 times. First time was whenever I won Junior World Cup gold in Germany in 2019. Second time was whenever I made the Olympic team back in 2024. And I'm almost certain that he full on cried where I got silver medal at the Olympics. So he's very proud of me.
What did he say to you afterwards? So let me just kind of paint the picture. Who won? Who won the gold?
Believe it or not, my coach won gold. So
okay.
it was me and him neck and neck up until the last station.
Okay, that's awesome.
I ended up missing one target. It is what it is. I'm not mad. But I think it was meant to be for him to get gold and me to get silver. So
when you're on the podium, the Star Spangled Banner is still playing, but it's playing for him, not you. Okay, so that's got to be emotional, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was actually the first time any country has ever gone 1-2 in skeet shooting in the Olympics. So that was a pretty awesome feeling too.
So what did your dad say to you after the podium ceremony?
I didn't actually get to see him immediately after the podium ceremony because we had to go to press conferences right afterwards and get interviewed. So I didn't get to see them for probably a 3-4 hour stretch from whenever I started the final up until we went home. So, but I vaguely, I don't. It's hard to remember. I vaguely remember him just hugging me and just saying, "I'm so proud of you, buddy." So, yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah. And I'm putting myself in your dad's shoes because I'm a dad, and my kiddo's not at the Olympics. I'm talking like rec softball in Glen Rose, Texas, and my son, playing varsity golf or whatever for the school. And I just want to see him right afterwards and hug their neck and tell them how proud I am. And your dad had to wait 3 or 4 hours because you're making the rounds, doing all the interviews and stuff like that. I think is awesome. And I see your love and admiration for your father. It comes out. It's really neat, man. I really like that.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love him.
So I wouldn't be doing my job on this podcast if I didn't ask this last question. This really is my last question, Connor. I know you've only been to Stephenville twice, but I know you have a diploma that says Tarleton State University. And maybe you don't necessarily bleed purple, but you do have an appreciation for the school because they gave you your degree. Is that true?
Absolutely.
What did earning that degree mean to you?
Believe it or not, my diploma actually came in the mail a few days ago. So seeing that was definitely a sense of accomplishment. I don't know that there's very many other schools that offers what Tarleton does. So definitely grateful to be able to pursue the degree path that I have and it just kind of like tie in with what I'm currently doing right now. So very grateful for Tarleton.
I think it's cool that you looked for a school that could accommodate you and let you chase your dream of going to the Olympics. You found it at Tarleton State University. Then you go to the Olympics and you win a medal. It's all just tied together, and I think it's really awesome.
Appreciate it.
Connor Prince, silver medalist at the Paris Olympics, on Bleed Purple, the official podcast of Tarleton State University, telling the story of this university through the stories of the people who bleed purple. My name is Drew Myers.
Are you ready to take control of your financial future? Doug McLemore is the founder of McLemore Financial Group and a proud Tarleton graduate and supporter. The company specializes in providing personalized financial planning and investment strategies tailored just for you. Whether you're saving for retirement, planning for your child's education, or seeking to grow your wealth, their experienced advisors are here to guide you every step of the way. You can find them at 1529 West Lingleville Road in Stephenville, or on the web at McLemoreGroup.com, or give them a call at 254-968-1020 to schedule your free consultation. McLemore Financial Group is your partner in financial success. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through McLemore Financial Group, a DBA of Advisor Resource Council, a registered investment advisor. McLemore Financial Group and Advisor Resource Council are separate entities from LPL Financial.